I swear, I didn't see it coming. We were walking into that party like we owned the night. The air was buzzing with music, laughter, and the clinking of glasses. I had spent hours getting ready. The perfect dress, my hair just right, my favorite heels. I felt confident. She was right beside me, my friend. Or at least, the person I thought was my friend. We'd been through everything together, late-night talks, helping each other through heartbreaks, sharing secrets no one else knew. I trusted her, completely. The moment we stepped into the living room, heads turned. I caught a few people looking at us, smiling, whispering. I thought maybe they were admiring my dress. But then, she froze. Her smile changed. It wasn't warm anymore, it was sharp. And then it happened. She raised her voice. Loud. So loud the music almost didn't matter anymore. She copied my style, she shouted. For a second, I thought she was joking. I actually smiled, waiting for her to laugh and say she was just teasing. But she didn't. She stared at me with this smug satisfaction, as if she had been waiting for this exact moment to destroy me. The room went silent. Then came a laughter. Not the nice kind. The kind that sticks to you, burns you from the inside. I felt my cheeks turn red. My throat tightened. My hands started shaking. People I barely knew were whispering, glancing at me like I'd done something terrible. Someone even said, "Wow, that's embarrassing," loud enough for me to hear. I wanted to disappear. I wanted the floor to just open and swallow me whole. But I stayed there, frozen. Tears started blurring my vision. I hated myself for letting them see me like that. And all I could think was, why? Why would she do this? I ran to the bathroom, locking the door behind me. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I'd be sick. I looked in a mirror and barely recognized myself. Not because of the makeup or the dress, but because my eyes looked broken. I kept hearing her voice in my head. She copied my style. It was ridiculous. We didn't even look that similar. Sure, we both wore black dresses, but that's like accusing someone of copying you for breathing air. It wasn't about the dress. It was about power. She wanted to humiliate me, and she did. But here's the thing. That night was just the beginning. I didn't know it yet, but she had been planning this for weeks. And soon, I was going to find out exactly how far she was willing to go to ruin me. I stayed in that bathroom for what felt like hours. Every time I thought I was ready to walk out, I'd hear someone giggling outside, and my stomach would twist. I kept replaying it in my head. Her voice, her smile, the way everyone turned on me in seconds. It didn't make sense. We'd always shared clothes, borrowed each other's makeup, even gone shopping together. If I wore something similar to her before, she never cared. So why now? Why like this? When I finally left the bathroom, the party felt different. People weren't looking at me like before. They were looking through me. Like I was just a story they'd already heard, a joke they'd already laughed at. She was in the center of the room, laughing with the group. She didn't even glance at me. I left without saying goodbye. And as I walked home, my phone buzzed. A message from her. Next time, try to be original, winky face. My chest tightened. It wasn't just public humiliation. She wanted me to know it was intentional. The next morning, I woke up to more messages. Screenshots from friends showing her Instagram story. A picture of me at the party, standing awkwardly in the corner, my mascara smudged from crying. Caption: when someone tries to steal your vibe and fails. Hundreds of people had seen it. Some commented laughing emojis. Others tagged their friends. That's when I knew she had been planning this. But why? I started digging. Scrolling through her recent posts, I noticed something strange. In almost every one, there was some subtle jab. A cryptic caption. A comment thread where she'd talk about fake friends. Was she talking about me all along? 2 days later, I found out. One of our mutual friends, someone I barely talked to, sent me a voice note. Her voice shook as she told me. She's been telling people you've been copying her for months. The way you dress, the way you talk, even the places you go. She's saying you're obsessed with her. Obsessed? With her? It was insane. But the way she'd been spreading it, little by little, to the right people, made it believable. By the time I found out, the story had already grown legs. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept scrolling, seeing my own photos differently now, remembering how she'd suggested I wear certain things, go to certain places. Was she Setting me up? The worst part? Every time I tried to think of confronting her, I remembered the way everyone laughed that night. No one would believe me. But deep down, I knew one thing. She wasn't done. This was just step one. And if I didn't figure out her game fast, she was going to take everything. The next week felt like walking through a storm I couldn't escape. Everywhere I went, I felt the whispers, the glances, the smirks. People didn't ask me about what happened. They didn't need to. They'd already chosen a side, and it wasn't mine. I stopped going to the places we used to hang out. I deleted my last few Instagram posts, hoping to take the spotlight off me. But it didn't work. If anything, my silence made it worse. Because she kept talking. More posts. More jokes at my expense. And she never mentioned my name. She didn't have to. Everyone knew who she meant. One night, I was scrolling through her profile, my hands trembling with a mix of anger and fear. That's when I noticed something. A photo. Her, in a brand new dress. I stared at it for a long time, because I'd seen it before. In my closet. Not the exact dress, but the same design, different color. And here's the kicker. I had bought mine first. I still had the receipt. Something inside me shifted. This wasn't just her calling me out. She was stealing from me and flipping the story to make me look like the copycat. If she wanted a game, I'd play. The next day, I wore my version of a dress. Not to a party, not to a photo shoot, just out in public where I knew I'd be seen. I smiled. I took pictures. I made sure they looked effortless. And I posted them. No caption, just the date and a subtle sparkle emoji. Within hours, I got messages. Wait, isn't that the same dress she wore? She copied you? The shift was small, but I could feel it. Cracks in her perfect narrative. That night, she messaged me. Cute dress. Shame you had to get one like mine. I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I sent her the receipt. Date. Time. Proof that I'd bought it before she did. No words. Just a screenshot. She didn't reply. But the next morning, I woke up to another storm. She had posted a new story. This time, not about me. About betrayal. About fake friends who play the victim. I realized then, I hadn't won anything. I just pushed her to her next move. And deep down, I knew this wasn't going to end online. No, the next attack would be face-to-face. I thought I could avoid her. I thought if I stayed out of her way long enough, she'd get bored and move on to someone else. But people like her don't move on. They escalate. It was Friday night when I saw her again. I wasn't planning to. I'd gone out with 2 friends to a small cafe across town. Somewhere quiet, somewhere she'd never go. Or so I thought. We were sitting by the window, sipping coffee, when the bell over the door rang. I didn't have to turn around. I felt it. That shift in the air, like every molecule in the room suddenly sharpened. My friends went silent. I turned my head slowly. There she was. Hair perfect, lipstick perfect. That same smile, sweet on the surface, poisonous underneath. She didn't even hesitate. She walked straight toward our table, her heels clicking against the floor like a countdown. "Hi," she said, her voice dripping with fake warmth. I managed a quiet hello. My heart was pounding so hard it felt like everyone could hear it. She looked at my friends first, then at me. So, still wearing my style, I see. My friends exchanged nervous glances. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to hold her gaze. "Funny," I said softly. "I was about to say the same to you." Her smile didn't move, but her eyes darkened. For a moment, it was just the 2 of us. Everyone else in the cafe blurred into background noise. "You know," she said, lowering her voice so only I could hear, "people believe what they want to believe. And they believe me. You can't change that." I felt my hands tighten around my cup. She leaned closer. "But you can make it easier for yourself. Just admit it. Admit you've been copying me, and I'll stop." Simple. It wasn't an offer. It was a threat dressed up as kindness. I didn't answer right away. I could feel my friends watching, waiting to see if I'd break. But something inside me refused to. I leaned in too, matching her tone. "I'm not going to admit to something I didn't do. And if you think I'm going to disappear, you're wrong." Her smile faltered, just for a second. But I saw it. She straightened, brushing imaginary dust from her sleeve. "Well," she said loudly, "I try to be nice." With that, she turned and walked away, her heels echoing until the cafe door closed behind her. My friends let out a breath they didn't know they were holding. One of them whispered, "She's not done with you." I knew they were right. She wasn't angry because I had copied her. She was angry because I wasn't breaking. And when someone like her can't control you, they try to destroy you. After that night in the cafe, I knew I had two choices: wait for her next attack, or make the first move. I wasn't going to let her write the ending to my story. I started small. A few quiet conversations with people we both knew, not about her, but about me. I told the truth. Not all of it, just enough for them to start questioning what they'd heard. I didn't beg them to believe me. I just let them see I wasn't the person she made me out to be. Then I did something I knew she'd hate. I threw a party. Nothing huge, just a get-together at my apartment. And I made sure to invite everyone. Even people I knew would run back to her with every detail. The night of the party, I wore something I'd never worn before. A bright red dress, bold, unapologetic, nothing like the black she always claimed I copied from her. I felt the eyes on me, but this time they weren't mocking. They were curious. Halfway through the night, she showed up. Of course she did. She didn't even knock, just walked in like she owned the place. She scanned the room, her gaze landing on me. "That's new," she said, eyes narrowing at the dress. "Yeah," I replied. "Guess I finally found my own style." A few people nearby laughed, not at me, but at her. I could see the confusion flash across her face. She tried to recover, launching into her usual performance. Stories about how I'd copied her in the past, little digs disguised as jokes. But something was different. This time, people weren't nodding along. They were looking at her, questioning her. And then it happened. One of our mutual friends, someone she trusted, spoke up. "Funny thing," they said, "I've known her longer than you. And honestly, you two were never that different. Maybe you're the one doing the copying." The room went quiet. Her smile froze. For the first time, she didn't have a comeback. She mumbled something about needing to go and left. No dramatic exit, no parting shot. Just gone. In the days that followed, the whispers stopped. Her pose slowed down, then disappeared entirely. And people started reaching out to me again, not to apologize, but to reconnect. It wasn't a full victory. The damage she'd done was still there. But I had my voice back. I thought that was the end. Until one morning, I got a package. No return address. Inside was a black dress, her black dress, and a note. 2 words, written in red ink. "Your turn." I don't know if it was a threat, a surrender, or something else entirely. But one thing was certain: this wasn't over.